31.
Rotate.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Flight Sim 008 video. This week, we saw the release of an airport for P3D that holds a very special place in my heart. Those of you out there who have been sim pilots since before Flight Simulator X will instantly recognize the significance of the airport we're sitting at on this clear, blue, winter day. Yes, Meigs Field. That little airstrip in Chicago that was the default airport for Microsoft Flight Simulator for as far back as I can remember is finally available across all the ESP platforms. Now, in case some of you are wondering just why I'm so infatuated with this now closed little field, it's because this is the place I would practice my takeoffs and landings back in the day when I had no idea what I was doing. It was the place I'd spawn into with every aircraft I could get my hands on. I'd do a bit of flying in and around Chicago, wrap it around the distinctive John Hancock Center, that tall, dark building with the twin antenna at the top, then come back in for a landing over the observatory. So many hours, so many aircraft, so many crashes. Well, now I get to relive some of those memories in P3D with the amazing A2A Piper Comanche. Now, I'm not usually a low and slow kind of guy, and you'll probably notice I'm way out of practice with this wonderful little bug smasher. But procedures and checklists aren't really the point of today's flight. So, don't worry about the mistakes and my terrible airmanship. She's been sitting in the hangar for months. I just wanted to have some fun around Chicago and bring you all along for the ride. This is an amazing looking scenery from what I've seen so far. The buildings, GA aircraft everywhere. Orbx did an amazing job with this. Alright, let's set our trim to neutral for departure. Everything's fine with the run-up. Let's just cycle the prop a couple of times. Meigs traffic, Comanche, November 6229 Papa, departing runway 18, right close traffic. You ready? Let's go. Power's coming in. And we're airborne. Gears coming up. little bit about the history of Merrill C. Meigs Field. The first airport in Chicago was Grant Park. It was kicking around from 1910 to about the 1940s with regular mail service. But it soon became apparent that the little airstrip wasn't going to cater to the needs of the growing aviation industry in the city. So, in 1916, Edward H. Bennett wrote that the lakefront would be a good candidate for Chicago's next airport. Support for the site slowly gained approval from Chicagoans and the Chicago Association of Commerce. Unfortunately, the Great Depression and then the Second World War meant that many civic plans had to be put on hold. Following World War II, in 1946, construction of the airport began. The lake was dredged, and the little peninsula was expanded to create a property large enough to accommodate a runway. The airport finally opened in 1948, and 2 years later, it was given its infamous name. Merrill C. Meigs was the publisher of the Chicago Herald in the 1920s and was inspired to become a pilot by Charles Lindbergh's famous solo flight across the Atlantic. He became the head of the Chicago Aero Commission and later even gave flying lessons to President Harry S. Truman. The peak of Meigs Field's passenger service was in the late 1980s, serving commuter routes to neighboring Springfield and Carbondale, with the Beech Model 99, Piper Navajo, and Hawker Siddeley 748, which was the largest aircraft to operate on a regular basis. In 1992, some brave pilots landed a Boeing 727 at the field that had been donated from United Airlines to the Chicago Museum of Science and Industry. Meigs traffic, Comanche, November 6229 Papa, short final, runway 36, full stop. The mid to late 90s saw the beginning of the end for Meigs Field, with plans to close it down and build a park in its place. And then, on March 30th, in the dead of night, the mayor ordered bulldozers to excavate large X-shaped gouges into the runway, leaving more than a dozen light aircraft stranded with nowhere to take off. That was the end for Meigs Field in the real world, and even in simulation it was replaced by Friday Harbor in FSX and Langley Air Force Base in Prepare 3D. That doesn't mean it's forgotten or lost to time, though. and I'm so happy to putter around here again. Alright, let's park up over here and shut down.
$100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. $100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Well, thanks for joining me, ladies and gentlemen, on this nostalgic little trip down memory lane. I hope you had as much fun as I did. We'll get back to our career across the pond soon enough, but in the meantime, I wish you all blue skies, tailwinds, and I'll see you in the next episode.